Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today's tip is if you pay for an experience, then spend time doing that experience. And I'm not saying like you paid for a day at the zoo and therefore you have to be there from like the time it opens till the time it closes. I'm saying that do everything in that experience over buying stuff. Um, Yeah. So, for example, my kid is a roller coaster enthusiast. They love roller coasters. Like they're obsessed with them. Like I loved roller coasters when I was younger until, stinking vertigo came into play in my 30s. But my kid doesn't just love riding them. They researched them and they learned about the manufacturers. They can like tell you all sorts of stuff about roller coasters that an average person couldn't. They have been on over 100 coasters and they absolutely love them. So we have been to tons of theme parks. And if you have a question about a theme park, my kid tends to be the one to ask, especially a Florida theme park, but in general, um, he can tend to find the information just because he knows where to go. So, when you are planning to do an experience, some things to think about. Think about capacity. So, a friend of mine was going to Busch Gardens this weekend and debating over the days. And so I was like, well, let me ask my kid. And my kid looked at this queue times thing and they were at 17% capacity. Today was the estimate versus like 66% capacity tomorrow, meaning that tomorrow will be a lot busier. So I was like, dude, go today, don't go tomorrow because you're you're going to be fighting lines and everything. Also, the fast pass kind of a thing that you can buy because my friend went today, they didn't have to buy the fast pass. If they had gone tomorrow, they would have to buy the fast pass. Look at all options, especially if you're going with a big family. Uh, so one thing that we used to do, so when we lived in Florida, we would get the Busch Gardens Fun Pass. One of us would get the Fun Pass, and one of us would get the Season Pass because the Season Pass came with parking. So sometimes it's advantageous to uh, if you're a multiple family person kind of a thing, have one person get the season. Like, look at how much extra the season pass is and what benefits it offers. And it may be worth it for one person to get the season pass so you can get like free parking, especially if you're going to be there like multiple days. Um, if you're going to be there 3 or 4 days and one person gets the season pass, well, I mean, at that point, you all might want to get the season pass depending on the park. But, I mean, look at your options there. And then if you do need to get the fast pass, then wait, frequently wait until you get to the park because it really sucks to spend money on a fast pass online before you get there and then have every ride be a walkthrough. You don't you don't want to pay, what is it, $50, $100 now for the fast pass, and then you get there and you have to, or you don't even have to use it because the regular line's moving just as quick as the fast pass line is because it's like a 5-10 minute wait. So then you've wasted that money. Plan your day at the park or the event. If it's something like a theme park or an amusement park or a zoo, what do you want to see while you're there? Choose the most important things and be ready. Kind of plan it out and have it figured out before so that you can maximize your time there. So for example, if you are going to Busch Gardens, I'll use that again. Iron Gwazi is coaster enthusiasts feel that it's the second best coaster in the world, only after Steel Vengeance. My kid personally thinks it's much better than Steel Vengeance. They also have some unique coasters that you can't ride anywhere else, like Cobra's Curse. So learn what those coasters are, and um, or maybe it's a zoo. Learn what make sure you know what animals they have and what animals your kids want. So that, I mean, like, we all like to kind of be lackadaisical sometimes, but you can really miss out on a lot. And then you're like, oh, I missed out on half the stuff because I wasn't prepared. And then when you get there, kind of have an idea of when you're going to do meals or what you're going to do for meals. I mean, are you packing a lunch? Is it a place where you can bring your lunch in? Do you have to go back out to the car? Frequently, when I went to Busch Gardens when my kid was little, we would go to, they had a thing called the Smokehouse, and we'd get, I think it was like 12-ish dollars after our discount. 12, I don't know, 12 $14, and it would come, and we had the refillable cups, and then it was like half a chicken, and you get a side. We got like strawberries and pineapple or fruit or something like that, and I can't remember what else, but there were a couple of things. And so my kid and I would just share the chicken because my kid prefers dark meat and I prefer light meat. That's obviously not going to work for everybody, but we had a complete meal, so it was essentially like $7 per person. It wasn't so bad. So we had breakfast when we went up there, then we had our one meal in the park, and then if we were still hungry on the way home, we could grab dinner, because Busch Gardens typically closes early except for Hollow Scream and Christmas Town and one other thing. Otherwise they close at like 6 maybe. So we would maximize that, and we wouldn't just be spending the whole day snacking and eating, so that we were actually going and doing things. We didn't spend a lot of time getting souvenirs except for at Christmas Town, because again, we had season passes, so we'd get like a free souvenir. We get like a free ornament. I think I have like 3 or 4 Busch Gardens ornaments that I got for free, because when you are a season pass holder, you actually get like something free every month, or at least you used to. So, or I guess it's an annual pass holder, not season. But make the most of your experiences. If you are paying to go into something, do all of the things that you really want to do. Don't miss out, and kind of be prepared, because I've also seen people who, or I guess I've talked to people who I've said, oh, did you go and do this while you were there? And they're like, no, that's not available. I'm like, oh yeah, it is. I do it all the time. And they're like, what? And they would have loved to do that, but they left early and missed out because they didn't even know it was there. They didn't pay attention. So when you're going to pay for an experience, and I mean, obviously it's not applicable to every experience. Like if you're paying to go skydiving, that's a completely different experience than going somewhere like the zoo or theme park or whatever. You can tell that we do a lot of theme parks and zoos and national parks and hiking and stuff. But make sure, I mean, if you're paying for it, get your money's worth. Make sure you do everything you want to do. Make sure everybody's getting to. If you're a family and mom and dad can split up and take the kids 2 different directions, because frequently you've got kids in different age groups. I am the oldest, and there's 12 years between me and the youngest. So, at one point, I was 17, the youngest was 5, and then we had the 2 boys in between. And what they wanted to do, what the 5-year-old could do due to height restrictions versus what I was 17, so I was off on my own. I was Gen X, I'd been off on my own since like 15. You just go. As far as theme parks go. And then, the boys, like, my dad could take the boys and my mom could take my sister, or vice versa, didn't really matter. My mom didn't ride, so it really depended on whether or not the child was going to need a parent to ride with them. But making the most use of that. So, like, again, going back to Busch Gardens, they have like a Sesame themed land. Like, if you have a little, they might enjoy that Sesame themed land. However, your 10, 11, 12-year-old might not like it so much. So if you can like split up and have one parent take the 10, 11, 12-year-old over to do something they would rather do, maybe those coasters that they are just tall enough to ride that the, little one's not, and then you kind of like meet back up to eat or to go on the rides that the whole family can go on. So like everybody can ride the train together, everybody can ride the like little air thing together, everybody can ride some of the coasters with a lower height requirement together. But the bumper cars, I mean, you get the point. So when you spend your hard-earned cash to do an experience, do the experience. Don't just like don't sit there and just shop. Don't miss out on things. I mean, like, honestly, I think souvenirs are just about the dumbest thing in the world. Not that I have never bought them. My kid has several theme park shirts they bought themselves, but we also are really smart about how we do it. And my kid has what, one, two, three, I think 3 long sleeves, 2 short sleeves, and a tank top. Rarely wears the tank top. They're not a tank top kid. But the other 5, they wear a lot. I mean, I would say a good 70 to 80% of the days my kid has a theme park shirt on. So it's an article of clothing they're wearing regularly, so it doesn't bother me. And because I don't know if it's that my kid's just really good at picking out a higher quality, or if it's that because they also have like the sensory thing with how clothes feel. Maybe we just tend to like a higher quality fabric that tends to last. I don't know if we just luck out, but yeah. So don't miss out on something. I mean, imagine being at a theme park and skipping a ride so you can buy a souvenir or get a hot dog or an ice cream sandwich or a pretzel or whatever. And the point was to go on the rides. That's like the point of a theme park. Or imagine going to the zoo and instead of going to see the animals, you're spending all your time in the beer garden. Like, that kills me. The number of people I see drunk at the zoo is like really weird to me. But when you're paying for the experience, attend the experience. Experience the experience. Anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.